There we go.
Okay. Shalom, y'all. This is Kazoo Cruiser with how to build a bomb called Planet Earth. We have done this without knowledge, and we're now standing on a bomb. First, you take a compressible shell. That is the tectonic plates. It's a fractured egg on the surface. That's a compressible shell. It can fall in, and it is falling in. That's where the earthquakes are coming from. No one had the right to pop the oil bubbles. No one had permission to pop the oil bubbles, and this is why the crust is collapsing under the weak parts. You dig dirt out, dirt falls in. So you take a compressible shell, and you dig it out a little bit, like we've done with oil ore mining, and we've got a little bit of a hollow area in various parts inside the globe. Then we have to provide a fuel source, which is our liquid hydrocarbons. That's our oil ore. Okay, it's liquid dynamite. Then you add, guess what? A catalyst, a heat source, and that's magma. So you've got the equivalent of a flammable material coupled with heat underneath the ground. So that's something to look forward to. Then you provide a plug which compresses the mixture still further from a specific point. It compresses the internal mixture, and this is the Pacific Basin. This is the landmass surrounded. It's the west coast of California. It's the west coast of South America. You go down to Australia, then you come up to Japan, and then that's the Pacific Basin. That's called the Ring of Fire because of the volcanic activity, but that's also called the Lake of Fire in the Scripture. That whole basin is receding into the earth. It's got tons of ocean water coming in under it, and if you look at a map from the sky, you can see that this is the deepest part of the world's oceans, and they're falling in, and Japan is falling in. We're probably going to lose Japan. The people there are going to probably drown because the landmass is going to go. Then the next step is you compress the shell with hydrogen-rich carbon particles in the atmosphere. As we know, carbon has atomic weight, it's got density, and it's got mass, and so it draws towards the other gravitational pulls, which is the center of the Earth. And this is what we've got. The wind disperses these carbon particles. The air is getting heavier. Even though we get rain and washes some of this out, we're putting pollutants out there so much faster than the rain can clean it that even God himself cannot keep up with us. This is all hydrocarbon particle emissions, and it's creating density, and also with the additional particles, there's additional energy because there's more friction when these particles bump into each other. So that's one of the reasons we're feeling more heat. There's friction in the air, and it's rubbing against each other. And this is why we're dealing with extra heat and odd problems with the weather. Now, here's where it gets stupid. We start removing the inert nitrogen. Now, nitrogen is the umpire. It's an inert gas. It's called a noble gas, and it prevents the hydrogen and the oxygen from bumping into each other because the very radical hydrogen and the very oxidizing oxygen, guess what? That's rocket fuel. Hydrogen and oxygen is rocket fuel. So when we remove the inert nitrogen, we allow them to bump into each other more frequently. Now, we put the nitrogen in our tires because we want nice, safe tires while we destroy our atmosphere. And future generations are going to laugh at us while they're drawing that nitrous oxide out and using it as laughing gas. The whole world is insane. We have built a bomb around our feet. Now, you stand back once you have all these elements in place, and then there's this project called h.a.a.r.p, which is some kind of high amplitude energy project by the United States government. What it is it's two electrodes. They send electricity through it, and it acts like a spark. What they do is they're trying to light this atmosphere on fire. This is the equivalent of h.a.a.r.p, folks. This is what they're doing, and eventually the air will get to the point where it was rarefied. There's enough hydrogen and oxygen in it. And this is why the bees are falling out of the sky. The soup that they fly in is now toxic, and they're dying in flight. So we need to stop h.a.a.r.p now. We need to think seriously about our future because the time is late, and we are consuming oil at a voracious rate. We're taking oil out from underneath the ground and putting it in landfills, and it's making our problem worse. These earthquakes are going to continue from Japan east to heading towards the west, towards China. They feel it when it happens on the west coast of our country. We feel it here in New York. So I'm going to ask the global community to join with me to wean the world off this Arab oil, which doesn't belong to them anyway. And we need to work towards a solution very quickly. I have a plan. If you elect me as President of the United States, I will put this plan into place, and we will have a safe place for our great-great-great-great-great-great grandchildren. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kazoo Cruiser for President. Shalom.